Talking Aliens, the William Cleere podcast.
As Morrissey once said, ladies and gentlemen, written lies, twisted lies, vicious lies. Well, they weren't lies. They weren't lies. They weren't lies, and neither were those. All three of them. I am William Cleere. This is Pop Talking Aliens. It's a podcast. We have Charlie Crabtree here to watch the final 2 episodes of the Clone Wars, and we have a man who has not been on this podcast since the early days of 2015, Mr. Bob Miri.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back.
Wonderful.
Bob, the last time you were on the show, we were discussing The Force Awakens. It had been out for about 24 hours, and we were in my car.
That's right. And fun fact, that was take number 2 that everyone got to hear.
Why was there a take number 2? What happened to take number 1? Was it 5 hours?
Wasn't it something didn't record or like halfway through or something?
It stopped recording, that's right.
And then, but we had we had talked for 2 hours, and then you're like, let's just do a quick one, and then we ended up talking for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, those were the early days. I didn't know how to use anything, and then by the time I got to my first show with Charlie, we had graduated to not talking in a car, but we had mics, but we were holding them like stand-up comedians. Remember that, Charlie? We were holding our mics.
Look, that has always been my favorite thing about your podcast. It has that in spirit. Like, I mean, we've known each other for 30 years at this point?
Yeah, pretty much.
It is like the equivalent of we go to movies together, and then this is like the parking lot talk you have after that movie. Whether it's standing around in the parking lot or sitting in the car, and we would end up talking about the movies as long as those movies were.
Right.
So it just has always like kept that vibe. So that's always been my favorite thing about the Pop Talking Aliens.
You know what else is we never actually did this is the first time we've done watch-alongs, and the idea was sparked from a user from YouTube, from one of our last podcasts, I think, who said do a watch-along of Rise of Skywalker, which, Bob, we should all 3 of us do also. That was requested of us. Also got a recent request to do a show about the history of Star Wars, too. Getting requests now. But,
that would be pretty cool.
But we decided, well, let's watch the Clone Wars, and this is the first time, we've ever done a watch-along, but there was a time, Charlie, where you and I went to see Star Trek Beyond, and we were literally the only people in the theater. Bob, this was like, nobody went to see Beyond to begin with, but this was like, I had just moved up here, we're near Charlie, and we're like, hey, let's go see Star Trek Beyond. It was like 10, 15 show, nobody there.
No.
Just us.
Really?
Just
nobody.
That's crazy to me.
MSTKing the fuck out of
Yeah, the whole time. It was like running commentary the whole time.
The whole time.
The only time I've ever experienced anything like that was seeing Office Space in the theater, empty, except for me and Nick Black.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
And just you guys. That was it.
Just us in the theater, the Century and Mountain View.
That's beautiful.
Nobody in that theater. And it was glorious.
It was wonderful. We were yelling, cut. Yeah, I would say like, cut. Try that again. Yeah. All right, so we're going to watch Clone Wars. We're going to watch the last 2 episodes, the entire season. Last time Charlie and I watched 9 and 10. Now we're going to watch 11 and 12. 11, of course, is called Shattered. And 12 is called Victory and Death, I think. We'll find out when we get there. Doesn't matter. It'll be there. So we're going to watch Shattered. So for those of you who want to watch it with us via podcast or via video, let me just say also, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do all the nice things that you do for a YouTube channel that you're enjoying. And we're also brought to you by audible.com. Audible is the universe's leading provider of audiobooks. You can get even original content now. They have original Audible content. There's one about aliens coming out, by the way, which I'll talk about when that's coming down the road. I'll talk about it then. But Audible, you can listen to it on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, basically anything that makes sound and connects to the internet. You guys know you love the Audible. Try it out for free. For 30 days, get a free audiobook. And it's on the house because you listen to this. Go to audibletrial.com/PopTalkingAliens. audibletrial.com/PopTalkingAliens. Please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to or here on YouTube and hit the like button. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow. That was well done.
Thank you.
That was
Wow.
pro level.
It's important stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And comment. We enjoy the comments. And if you'd like to make a demand that we watch another movie or something, please do.
Before we start, can we just say up front, can Dave Filoni please just take complete charge of all Star Wars things just from here on out? Can he just own it?
I
mean, isn't he pretty much doing that at this point? He's
Kind
carrying
of,
that
but you know,
goddamn
they got to set him
He's
up with
carrying
Jon
it on his back
Favreau
at
to
this
kind of mentor him and stuff. I hope they're grooming him for it, because anything he touches at the moment is gold.
It is. He wrote these last 4 episodes. He's obviously executive producer Mandalorian. And what else is, well, Obi-Wan's coming. I don't know that he's in charge of that, but I'm God hope he has input.
Put him in charge immediately if he's not.
Even
if it's going well.
He's got his
Fire
hand in it.
everybody, let him in. I was saying this to you, Bill, like instead of selling to Disney, if Lucas just could have golden ticketed Dave Filoni and just like, you get all of this is all yours.
I know. I think
someone with a new imagination needs this. Take this and run with it. God.
He has said that Dave Filoni is like a son to him. He worked with him for 10 years. He is the direct conduit. And I know that when Lucas hired Kathleen Kennedy, it's because they're old friends and she's got a good business mind or whatever. Should have been like, Kathleen, you run the business end. You do that stuff. You produce, and then creatively just let Filoni be, right? Am I right?
Yeah, like CFO for her, and then CEO is Filoni, right? Just
yes.
Yeah.
Because Kathleen Kennedy does know how to, make a movie, under with certain budgets, and she's one of them. And she's produced some of the great movies of all time. But story-wise, fucking Dave Filoni is, he's writing this series right into Revenge of the Sith, and it's seamless into an existing George Lucas movie.
Leave art to the artists.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. Speaking of artists, all right. So if you're watching with us, and you should be, or you can just watch us talk about it, but it's better if you see the show. We are on Disney Plus, and you're gonna hit the episode and then let it run to 3 seconds. Right when you see that 3, right when you see that.
No, we anticipated 3 this time.
So okay, you want to end
1, 2, 3, and then pause.
Anticipate.
Did an anticipation 3, not a C3, and then pause.
Right. Don't see it and then pause. Anticipate it. See the 1, 2, and then
2, pause.
And then now Charlie is going to count us down with his clockwork drumming soul to, he's going to count us down to hit play. So we're at 3, and now Charlie's going to count us down to hit play.
Right, we're going to go, don't do it yet. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, play. Right? So it's an anticipation again. 1, 2, 3, play. Anticipate the play. Are you guys ready?
We are ready.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, no.
I love that old font.
No, my TV didn't like it. My TV didn't like it.
All right, go back to 3. Just go. Everyone go back to 3. It's okay. Go back to
damn it. No.
Back to 1. Go back to 1. We don't want to resync it that way. Hey, look, this happens on these things. It's fine.
All right, I'm at 3 again. It's an anticipation 3. It's an early 3. Not a late
early 3, okay.
My TV went to sleep.
And now we're going to go 3, 2, 1 in, right?
Yeah, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, play, okay? Let's try that one more time.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play. There we go. You got the green, Lucas Limited, all that good stuff?
Yep.
Lucasfilm Limited.
Black.
Yep.
Red, Clone Wars fading in.
We are all in sync. If you're at home, please follow this to make sure you are also.
Lots of great soundtrack happening. Some horns in the background.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say the music in this is beautiful.
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
another thing. Kevin Kiner, who does the music for the Clone Wars and Rebels, like with Filoni, like give him a movie. Stop making him be he's the cartoon guy. This guy's the scoring in the show is amazing.
Fantastic.
Charlie, I think the next time you count us in, you should get the drumsticks. Count us in like a song.
Look at that.
Beautiful Bo-Katan.
And well, let me know what you guys think about the interaction between those two, because I have a comment.
Okay. Between Ahsoka and Bo-Katan?
Yeah.
Look at Maul. Just fucked up.
Mm.
That's
a theme that keeps popping up.
You wish you're something better than.
I wish I was something better than war.
Yeah, the Jedi. You're right.
Well, she goes right back to my sister, Bill.
I know.
It didn't work out so well for her. The Mandos are not looking for a peacetime leader.
Yeah. And turns out they were right.
Right.
They were really right after whatever the fuck happens to them before the Mandalorian.
Well, they're all gone.
Yeah. So
there's nobody left, hiding in the shadows.
Like, I mean, not to get onto another show, but in that show, Werner Herzog is like, why did you stay? Why did you fight back? Why you ruined your culture, Mandalorian? Don't you agree? Okay, so you guys, this scene is in Revenge of the Sith. This is how bold this freaking show is getting right now. This scene is literally word for word in the movie.
But how good is it that they intertwine them so perfectly?
That's what I'm saying.
It's seamless.
That's so ambitious to do that, and then not just to do that as a gimmick, but to pull it off. And then here she comes. Yeah. If you're watching that movie, and
that's immediately before she walks in, right? That scene.
Yeah, it ends right there with Yoda's line.
Right there.
Do you think there's someone has cut this together with the actual movie yet, or are we just waiting for that?
Oh, I'm sure someone's done it. It's the internet.
It's in process at least, right?
Yeah. It's got. I mean, multiple people will do that.
How about an apology? Fucks. Look, as soon as she says wants to speak to Skywalker, as soon as the name Skywalker leaves her lips, like Mace Windu is like scowling immediately.
Yeah, he just doesn't want anything. He doesn't want her.
No, I know.
I think he's a little bit like hesitant because he knows about Anakin, I think.
Yeah, he does.
He helped push him over to the edge.
Look at him calling her citizen. So
but you know what? He's the reason the Jedi went apeshit crazy. Like
I think he's one of the great heels of the Star Wars universe, unfortunately.
Mace?
Yeah, you said that last time, and I think it's true.
Yeah.
And I like how Ahsoka said, as a Jedi, when Yoda said, as a Jedi, and she said, not yet, leaving it open. Even though we know she doesn't.
See, look at him being so sensitive to it. Like, he knows what's going on. And Mace Windu is like, hey, citizen.
Yeah. The one person that might have been able to talk Anakin off the ledge, push her away too. Smart.
Yeah. Get her as pissed as he is. He is. Lucky she didn't come in there and cut his other hand off.
I mean, at this point, she's as powerful as just about any Jedi out there, right?
Well,
there's a meme that shows the scene in the council before when Mace Windu says, "Take a seat, Skywalker," and then the next frame is Mace Windu Skywalker going, "Okay, Mace Windu."
Hey, is Bo-Katan's sidekicker? That's Sabine Wren's mother, right?
I think so. I was asking about that before, that she looks like Sabine.
And real quick, the little fucking sarcophagus they got Maul in, isn't that the prime Mandalorian on the front there? The markings?
Oh, let's see.
Well, apparently they used to use it on Jedi. Remember, they were at war with Jedi. They hinted at that in previous seasons, that no Jedis are allowed with weapons there, because I guess at one point they're at war against them.
Oh, they talk
That's
about
Just
that.
saying it's the last one that they have, which wink, wink, nod, nod. It's obviously not.
Mandalorian, they talk about that too, how they used to fight against the Jedi in the ancient times.
You got an anti-Jedi device. How cool is that?
Yeah, I think that is Sabine's mom, Bob.
Yeah. Doesn't the interaction between Bo-Katan and Ahsoka always seem tense and like hesitant on both their ends? Like they don't really trust each other?
Yeah, kind of, but then like they have super respect because she said like I learned from,
From you.
a
Yeah.
great leader, but also you.
But it's because they're both soldiers.
Oh, that is a prime Mandalorian symbol on there, dude. Good eye. Yeah, they have the soldier respect for each other. That kind of reminds me of the black hole when the guy gets shoved inside Maximilian. It kind of creeps me out, that shot.
Love the color on the Star Destroyer too.
The Old Republic.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about Star Wars is just how quickly you can build a fleet. Because if you think about it, like from the Clone Wars, they all had all the red gunships and the red Star Destroyer, with the red trim and all that. And then at some point, they just a whole new fleet of ships with no red trim. And then like you get to Rise of Skywalker and he's like, here's the Sith fleet. You already have the First Order fleet. Here's another one.
I mean, they've got billions of people from like billions of galaxies, just slave labor, just turning these things out like in record time.
Yeah. Dude, Maul's descent into madness going in from this into Rebels too is beautiful to watch.
Absolutely.
Do you think we could get, and maybe we could have gotten this if Solo had been more movies like they had planned, and they were going to have, Darth Maul at the end of the first one, a little more backstory on what Darth Maul went through between this and when they find him in Rebels, and he's just like shriveled up old man.
But he's like the ultimate conspiracy theorist, and he had it right the first time, and it was the biggest fucking conspiracy in the universe has ever seen, and he was right, and no one else knew it but him.
Right.
And then like after that, then he's like, he's looking for microphones in the wall and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
At that point, he's wearing tinfoil hats, and everything he thinks is like on a whim is absolutely correct, no matter how fucking crazy it is.
Old fucking Darth Maul talking out his ass again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
That theme keeps popping up about war, knowing no other way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What a moment.
Yeah. Tearjerker. Because you know what's going to happen.
But had she opted in to say, yeah, let me go see what this is all about, because I'm sure it's more good news. If she had just said yes to seeing this update, how different would things be?
Oh,
Right.
God, you're right.
Right.
Jesus.
No, I'm just going to watch the hyperspace.
This part, gorgeous.
Yeah. Definitely beautifully done. Artwork's amazing.
This isn't not a cartoon. This is animation, like proper.
Right.
Animation.
Yes.
Right.
Fucking crazy Maul again.
Oh, here we go.
That's really Revenge of the Sith audio.
You know what's crazy? In Revenge of the Sith, when I saw that happen, it did not give me the chills. When it happened in this animation, not cartoon, absolutely gave me the fucking chills. Like, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like sent this ripple throughout the Force where like not every Force sensitive person felt it clearly, because a lot of people got shot in the back, but a lot of people did. It was just
the most
awesome
Force sensitive people felt it.
And she was so connected to him that she would feel it. But Yoda didn't feel it because Yoda didn't sense anything until the Order 66 happened. which is right now. So he did, I guess, but he didn't.
I mean, it was literally seconds later. Like as soon as they Mace Windu is done, he's instantly on the comm. Execute Order 66. Like he didn't waste no time.
Right.
Dude, by the way, how amazing are her skills? Like gorgeous
unreal.
fight sequences.
Love this scene.
I love her fighting style. I love the reverse
Same.
grip on the lightsaber.
Saying on the last episode, and even with time and cool off period, I still think she's one of my favorite Jedi. Like,
Dude, she is. I've said this for years. She's my favorite character in all of Star Wars.
favorite number one.
Seriously?
Number one with a bullet.
Wow.
Because of like everything like that she goes through.
I mean, I can't. That's high.
It's hot.
That's really
Well,
high.
here's the thing: because she's done the warrior path, she's done the intellectual path, the peacekeeper path.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
later on
good
in
point.
Rebels
She's very well rounded.
Yeah,
Her
She
fighting
one
style
of-
is amazing too. I love it. It's just not the lightsaber. It's all kinds of.
I mean, she has become one of the most popular Star Wars characters now. She is. Like, she legitimately is.
I mean,
As
when you
popular
throw the
as-
garbage fire that is Reddit, and you look at all the people like for years have been like Ahsoka movie, Ahsoka something, and finally, hopefully, we're getting it in the Mandalorian, and hopefully a standalone series.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
And then
which is perfect because the age matches up too.
all she needed is some blue contacts.
Yeah.
Right.
He looks just like her. She looks like the real life version of
Have you
Ahsoka.
seen the fanboy drawings of her?
No.
I mean, it's all over the garbage fire of Reddit, but go check it out.
I like how you always preface it with that because it's important. Because it is. It really is. It really is. We don't even have a Pop Talkin' Aliens Twitter account. We have an Instagram, by the way, at Pop Talkin' Aliens. But no Twitter because I can't stand to read it.
Yeah, because that shit's another dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's ruthless.
You know, that's a new Force move where everyone's pinning people to the ceiling. They start
Yeah.
using that all the time.
I was about to say, yeah,
I think the first time
First time we
this was-
saw that was
Rogue One.
yes.
No.
and then
Yeah,
he, you
no,
know,
it
it was Rogue One, and then he cuts the guy in half behind him while he's walking
Heads
by.
up to the ceiling, yeah, and chops
And
him.
just like, oh, by the way,
Ahsoka does it. Darth Maul does it later in this same episode, same move.
Yeah.
yep.
Well, Darth Maul does the crazy Darth Vader like storming the counselor ship move, where he just plows through everything.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just walking down hallways and just like no lightsaber, just ending everybody.
Again,
He's starting to
I love
crack.
his
He's doing the
descent
nervous
into-
laughing thing. Like he's on his path of insanity.
Yeah,
Oh,
look
yeah,
at his face.
dude, so good. What are those things on the side of her head? The orange things? Is that part of her, or is that like a thing?
Okay, I don't know that, and I was you just reminded me that I was going to ask you if you knew, because like the Twi'leks have the Leku, right? But she's not a Twi'lek, is she?
No.
They don't have like.
No, she's not.
Oh, so good.
Because it looks like it could be like a helmet, and then the red things, like the little lights, are like part of a helmet. But then it's like.
But it's not a helmet because they get longer in Rebels. When she pops up in the last season, they're longer.
Oh, so they
I'm not gonna
so
spoil
they're
the last episode, but yeah,
literally part of her.
yeah, that's weird.
I'm not rooting for you. Great line.
What a
I
great
love
yeah.
that.
So Charlie, I was talking to Bill about this too. Like, isn't it interesting? I saw this in Ahsoka where she like veers from Anakin's style of like running into battle through all of Clone Wars. She runs into battle, willing to fight, and now she's always more in a defensive posture in this episode.
Yeah.
More defensive and more Obi-Wan kind of like.
You know, we talked about it in the last episode, and she still has moments in the Darth Maul fight where when she goes crazy aggressor style, she does well and then ends up slipping and losing, and that's when she's on the verge of losing. When she takes the defensive style and purely playing the opponent, that's when she wins every time.
Yeah. Good call. Every time the droids pop up, I've seen this episode a couple of times now. It brings me back to the Rise of Skywalker, where Princess Leia goes, "Never underestimate a droid."
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, these droids do a lot of work in this episode.
Dude, they like Princess Leia knew what she was talking about, man. Like, never underestimate those droids. They're the backbone of the goddamn rebellion.
Absolutely. That R2-D2, like this would have been like 15 minutes worth of movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And
the
it's
first
over.
thing we ever heard, in theatrical release is droids talking.
Right.
Ahsoka, by the way, is a Togruta. I'm sure
That's
everyone
right.
watching this knows that, and I'm looking like an idiot, but that's what she is.
I love her reappearance too.
Nice Caminoan.
Hey, in this part here, where she
Soulless bastards. Huh?
this part here where she has Anakin's password, do those numbers mean anything to anyone?
Yo, okay, let me tell you something. I was watching this with my son, and he says 8108, and he goes, "Did this show start in 2008?" No, he goes, "No, it started after that." And then so he's looking up like release dates and stuff, and he found out that the movie came out on like August 1st of 08.
No, really.
Yeah, which was
I
so,
love those little things.
that. I mean, I don't know how he thought of that, but and you thought of it too. It never occurred to me that that was anything significant. And then him going into like release dates, I was like, how? I thought he was lying when he's like, yeah, 8108. That's when the movie was released. Oh my god, how awesome!
Dude,
Into the ceiling.
It's ceiling
This
again.
is so good.
slicing people with metal.
Ah!
Oh,
I love to hear you say slicing people.
This is a great scene.
Ben Mulaney would have been so proud of that.
oh, for real.
Just fucking wrecking shop. Such a good scene.
This scene right here, so savage.
That
That's-
little nod to the Mandalorian right
Mandalorian,
there. Pull
yeah.
through the closing door and chop him.
Old fucking fluoride mall.
See, the droids are always the least suspected.
Yeah.
Like they're everywhere. They're running around. You have time to sit there and go, "Is this
Oh,
droid?"
it's just-
in it?"
By the end, they figure it out.
Right, but it always takes a while. Chopper was always saving the day for Rebels too.
Yeah, is that guy right there like a? I feel like that's like a nod to Chopper. He's always got the arm out and waving it around and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, good point.
Is that Chopper? Well, no, because
No,
this
it
guy
can't
doesn't
be.
make it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
These guys don't make it.
He talks like him too.
He's,
Like it's the same model line then, right?
yeah.
It
Yes.
sounds like him, doesn't it?
It sounds exactly like him. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chopper's got like a flat head, so but yeah, he's like he's
Yeah.
like it's his dad or something.
Well, this one gets its
Droid dad.
head
His
blown off.
dad?
Maybe it's reassembled from him.
Yeah,
By
oh,
Ahsoka
yeah.
Tano, and put back into service.
I love this little thing that's about to happen too. Where she, the callback to Rogue One.
I don't know.
How?
I was gonna make us see it first.
Here it comes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Bob.
Yeah, there you go. But again, that's the genius of Dave Filoni. Like all
Right.
those little bits.
The guy does not miss a fucking thing. There's a thing on Disney Plus, like a making of The Mandalorian.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you
Yeah.
see when Dave Filoni mentioned something about Empire and Jon Favreau?
Yeah, John's like, it's too
That's a
deep cut for me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful callback right here.
Yeah, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Beautiful.
And this makes sense because Ahsoka was a lot of she studied in the Clone Wars earlier episode. She was in like the library, the archives, studying.
Mm-hmm.
She would have known about those.
Older Force chants.
Yeah, the wills, the guardian of the wills.
Right.
Good call. Good point.
She should be a yellow lightsaber then.
Well, she had one at one point, or she will have one.
Clear.
Her second note. So Bob and I were talking about this before we got started. Her first lightsaber was green, and then she got another one that was a yellowish green when she first started using two. So one of them was pure green, the other one was like a yellow green. And then when Anakin gives her these in episode 9, I think, he's tweaked them to be like his own, like with his own Force sensibilities. You know, the warrior, the bravery type of lightsaber.
And again, this whole thing.
I
with
forgot
her,
what
like,
Sorry, Bob.
Oh no, go.
I forgot what the colors mean. Is blue like for the most combative Jedi, like the swordsman?
Yeah, it's like the warrior one, and then green is the more intellectual, like
Force users, like heavy Force users.
not force. If I'm not mistaken, green is like the more like intellectual side, and the blue is the more physical side.
But then yellow is like the Force historians and stuff. Like
Yeah, or it's like a balanced one. If you because Rey from Rise of Skywalker has a yellow one.
she ends with the yellow one.
Yeah, which is like the balance, right? In between combat and beautiful ending, by the way.
Yeah.
Blue indicated a Jedi Guardian who used the Force on a more physical level. Green,
Yeah, physical. Yeah.
a Jedi Counselor, a Jedi who prefers to reflect on the mysteries of the Force and fight the dark side at its heart.
That's blue.
That's yellow. That's green.
So then what's yellow?
Yellow.
I'm letting this play out, by the way, to the 3 mark again.
Yeah, I'm on 3.
On the next one already?
Yeah, I just hit the button and then hit pause. Right, I anticipated the 3.
Oh no, we
Okay.
got no. Let's start. Make sure we stop and start for everyone.
I have to know the colors though before we go into this.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. Okay. So.
Hold on. Let me focus.
Well,
On the right 3.
Rey's
hell?
lightsaber is yellow because she combined kyber crystals from Luke and Leia. But it's also like a defender of the Force.
A defender of the Force. Yeah. I don't know exactly what that means. I've read on this a little bit, but I can't remember.
And then the
Okay.
Mace Windu's purple one is like because he treads the line.
Into the dark, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of dark side.
A little hypocritical of being so weary of Anakin and being a the fucking guy, the guy that's responsible for pushing him away. All right.
I really, Charlie, I'm really liking your whole Mace Windu, like sort of re-examination of him.
If he
as a
just would have
character.
eased up on it a little bit, took it easy on him. If any of the Jedi Council would have backed Ahsoka Tano, like
That's an interesting
so
point,
many
Trevor.
things would be different because Ahsoka would have been there the whole time with Anakin. Would have been much harder for him to like turn.
Well, Ahsoka would have been a Jedi at this point.
For sure. Clearly.
Like, she would have just full
Clearly.
on been there.
Clearly.
And Mace Windu's a dick, dude. Even when in Revenge of the Sith. In Revenge of the Sith, remember when the Yoda and Mace and Obi-Wan are like flying on that gunship, and Anakin is just left, and they're talking about the prophecy, and Obi-Wan says, "Isn't he the one that's supposed to bring balance to the Force?" And Mace Windu says,
Right.
the prophecy says.
Right.
He's such a dick about
Well,
everything.
well, first, the spy that they send to spy on Palpatine is like the closest Jedi, the closest to him, like emotionally, like they're actually friends, and Anakin sees him as a mentor. I hope that they have enough force to be able to sense that that's the case. I think they all knew it, which is why they picked him as the spy. And then when they go to arrest him, the person that they send to go with him is Mace Windu. And like that's the one guy that clearly hates Anakin the most, and Anakin has the most problems with.
Right.
And then like you have to choose between one of the two. Okay, the guy that's a dick to me and belittles me all the time, or the guy that's taken me under his wing and actually paid attention to me this whole time. Like
well, and you know
a
what makes
father
Easy
figure.
choice.
And then they
Mace doesn't
expect him to
even-
choose Mace Windu? Like that's
No,
not going to happen.
Mace Windu doesn't even invite him. Remember?
Yes.
Wait, I'll trust.
Right.
He even tells him,
That's
I'll
right.
trust you
Just- yeah.
only when if he is the Sith Lord and all that, then you will have earned my trust. Like Jesus Christ, this guy's been fighting in the Clone Wars for 3 years. He's been in the Jedi Council for 13 years since he was 10, and now I'll trust you only if everything works out.
Which is-
Everything.
Interesting because remember, like, was it Mace Windu who said he can be on the council, but he doesn't have like voting rights or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the parking pass. He doesn't get the privileges that the other guys get.
He has to park in F building.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're on this council, but you're not a master. Yeah.
That's
it's-
it. You're not a master.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Breaking a couple of 1,000 years worth of tradition because
I'm better at the
hate
Force
this.
than you. I have powers. Just like makes him more like insecure and like, I mean, they basically hand delivered him to the dark side. The council
No, they
hand
did.
delivered.
They did. Mhm.
Which is what Qui-Gon was always worried about, like the path that the Jedi were on.
Yes. Why?
Qui-Gon in the
Why he's
book,
my favorite
Charlie,
Jedi.
the book that I'm always screaming at you to read, Master and
Yeah.
Apprentice, Qui-Gon is actually invited to join the council, and he declines.
I think
Yeah.
also. Oh no, Obi-Wan Kenobi makes a reference to it, but he said you would be on the council already if you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you just
But
shut
yeah,
up
that's
a little
true.
bit more.
True. He references it. But yeah, he is like he gets like it's scripted. Like they all get together with him and tell him like you got 48 hours to decide, and then yeah, he's got too many issues with it because he loves the prophecies and all that. Anyway,
Well, imagine that guy survives and how different things would be. It's like all these little series of events that had to happen for
totally.
You know
So
what's?
this is gonna be chaos.
I'm just going to pause, and everyone, you can probably go listen to this on Audible. But the book Star Wars from a Certain Point of View. Either of you read that one?
I haven't read that yet, but I own
Dude.
it. I did buy it.
Immediately go out and read that. It talk about all these little instances of just happenstance where everything can change. That book is beautifully written.
It's short
And it's a bunch
stories,
of different
right?
authors. It's like 40 stories and 40 different authors or something.
Right.
What
And
is it
has
called?
like all these little these the people on the Death Star, like the guy who's in charge of like looking to make sure the escape pods are empty and all that shit, and he looks away for a second and then whatever.
Oh, it takes their perspective of like
It's-
each person.
the perspective of like a stormtrooper.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah,
It's a really good book.
I got to read that one. I know, and it's all canon.
Okay,
Correct? Isn't it, Bob?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Those are
All canon. Yeah, it's in the new canon.
we want
Sorry,
to
Charlie doesn't
rip
like
into
that
the
word.
final. Do
Okay.
we want to rip into the final? A little.
Yeah, let's get into this. Victory and death. Everyone get to 3. Right on the 3, right, Charlie? Right on the 3, like you said.
You know what? I did a middle 3, but it will be close enough.
Okay. And to count us down, we're on Victory and Death, Season 7, Episode 12. We're on, the counter is at 3, and we're about to hit play on Charlie's cue.
We're gonna
3, 2, 1.
we're gonna do again. Just to remind you, we're not gonna do it this one. I'm just telling you what we're gonna do. Don't do it right now. 3, 2, 1, play. Right?
Yep.
You
Let's
guys
do it.
ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Hope this works. 3, 2, 1, play. It was a long 3. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. I think we'll be close. How many people? I got what a genius touch to throw in the original old school Lucasfilm I wonder if that's even a nod to the people who hate Disney Lucasfilm.
Probably.
To be like, hey, check this out. I'm going to go back to the first one. I mean, it's not even,
yeah. Anyone else besides Filoni doing that, people would probably get pissed.
yeah. It's not even a logo. It's just
Disney probably doesn't like that they did that, right?
Yeah, he probably had to argue
Sneak
with
it in.
Kathleen Kennedy about that.
And you notice big bright letters created by George Lucas at the end.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, of course.
Love that.
That's, by the way, how all Star Wars should always end. Any Star Wars, to me, when it goes to credit, should say created by George Lucas and then everything else.
I absolutely agree.
Keep waiting. Oh, how. And he's got the classic stun blasters, the circles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking Deadeye with those circles too.
Shit, I didn't catch that the first time either. Good call.
There's not a wasted circle if you watch. He does not miss the shot. Oh, that was a missed shot. Sorry, I was wrong.
Not really, though, dude. I mean, his hit percentage of circles.
I mean, those circles are so big. How do you miss? Even stormtroopers could miss. You know, if they would just stun everybody, they get like that much bigger of a target instead of this. They get this. You could stun them and then shoot them. So, like, you got like a 0% chance of missing the stun. Switch to blaster after that, and they kill everybody in the galaxy.
And look, the first time we ever see a stormtrooper stun somebody, it's Princess Leia. Nails it.
Nails it.
Yeah.
First shot.
Could have knocked her down, then killed her.
Yeah, that would have been like a whole fighting technique. The stun and blast fighting technique. Or you pair them together. One guy always shoots stun, and the guy next to him always shoots blaster.
Yeah.
And then there you go. You got a stormtrooper wrecking crew at that point.
I love how Maul is wearing a dead man's watch.
That is all. Okay, I got to tell you guys something. I love this more than anything on Earth.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
What am I about to say?
This basketball move? Right here.
Yes.
Chest pass to the face.
Just past the yes.
And then crashes the hyperdrive. I love this guy.
But this is pretty over. I mean, this is like some Palpatine, Luke, Yoda, Anakin stuff.
This guy's like crazy. Like he's been set loose. He's been told to go cause chaos.
Do you think that's a bit much for his power, though?
Well,
I mean,
I was just going to say
it.
this, Bill. I was just going to say this. There seems to be something about every Star Wars movie where, like, exponentially people start gaining ability very fast, but then their adversary is doing the same at the same time.
That's true. That's a good point, too.
Yeah.
Darkness
like Brendan
rises,
Ray, like
light
Luke
faded.
Skywalker overnight, like the Force is keeping up with like the yin and yang, like at all times. Because he did not have that level of power before. Clearly, Ahsoka is like taking leaps and bounds in the last 48 hours since hanging out with the space bikers.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Those
Yeah, look at
circles
that.
Stuns.
never miss.
Two stuns, two circle guns, Charlie. Two circle guns.
Yeah, when they're aiming, like with the rifle, like at short range, they miss. But like two-handed, arms akimbo, just firing away, never miss a stun, ever.
Circles.
They're as big as a wall. You can't miss. They're giant circles.
Or maybe the Empire could have thought to have made the circles deadly.
Well, they could have done that too. Why does the deadly one have to be the small one that just goes straight instead of a big circle that just kills everything in its path?
Maybe because the dispersion of energy is concentrated into one laser, but if you...
Well, that makes sense, Bill, but that's not fun.
That's not Star Wars either. You don't have rules like that.
Circles.
There's something really hilarious to me about the idea of the one stormtrooper stuns them, and then the other one shoots them. The
Yeah.
one that's like,
It is better than anything that the whole Jedi Council have come up with. I could have solved all the Star Wars problems. I was a general.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with Mace Windu.
No, I just, like, hey guys, I got an idea. It's crazy, but it just might work. You set to stun all the time. You can't miss. You shoot them when they're on the ground and they're not moving, so you don't miss. Your hit percentage, like, they have like hit percentages of like how many fires versus how many confirmed hits. It's got to be like 1%.
They can check your blaster.
Would have upped it to at least 20%. This is just more efficient killing,
Yeah, right? Because you can get right to the head and just kill them.
You could walk up, just saunter up to them, and yeah.
Saunter up to him.
The irony of them still wearing Ahsoka masks while they're doing this.
Yeah, I know. Sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
I love this beautiful. This is another, like, what's about to happen. Remind me of Obi-Wan Kenobi again. The way she, like, formulates her plan.
Yeah, she's chill the whole time.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt them, but I'm not going to attack. I have a plan.
Yeah, not knowing that Darth Maul is going to crash the entire fucking ship anyways and everyone's going to die, so it doesn't really matter. I guess it doesn't matter, right? She's just not going to be the one that does it, is what
Right.
she's saying.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, the opposite of Anakin. If this was Anakin in this situation, he
Everybody's
would
gonna die.
full and killed everyone.
Everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
He already would have jumped out of that window.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was crashing
Sprinting
through.
into like hordes of them. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
The Anakin in this show is so much
Oh,
better.
she just said it, but I am not. Like
Exactly.
she kind of even knows that they're probably going to die anyways.
Right.
No, we're not going to fucking surrender. Come on.
This is like Obi-Wan, though. This is exactly what he would have done. Or Qui-Gon Jinn.
There
Same.
is another
Or Qui-Gon,
way.
for sure.
Yeah.
There are alternatives to fighting.
Hey, Qui-Gon was the Jedi that they needed during these times, and he didn't make it.
For sure. I imagine Qui-Gon would have had a big problem with the Clone Wars in general.
Oh, he would not have accepted this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, none of it.
No.
But he was
He
on the
would've left the
outside
order.
anyway, so like he went with the route of Darth Maul basically, and like been laughing to himself hysterically 30 years later,
It's true. True.
wearing a tinfoil hat.
He is
You
almost like that in that book that I never shut up about. He gets kind of tinfoil hat about. You know what I'm talking about, Bob? In that book,
Yeah.
where like he gets so obsessed with prophecies that he's like hallucinating and stuff all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that! I'm going to
Yeah,
put these binders on you, scene. That was her plan.
Yep.
I'm going to put these binders on you. And there you go. It always works. Also,
Well, and it's a good plan too because he does have a point. He, in saying, well, she's not a Jedi. It doesn't really count.
technically,
So I love how he's like, Robert's Rules of Order dictates that you shouldn't kill her.
Robert's Rules of Order 66. Ahsoka's ripped, dude.
yeah.
It's a fucking throwing those wrenches in that girl garage, the girl bike garage.
You really came back muscular, Ahsoka. It's doing a lot of work on bikes.
Ah, damn it! It almost worked.
Demoted. And then
Yeah. By
Demoted
the way,
and
you got
killed.
demoted. Like all this.
But then killed. He says you'll be executed. But first you get demoted. They don't go straight for the killing. It's like, it's really humiliating.
Yeah.
You go through this whole demotion ceremony, and then you
Making
get
him sign a paper.
So it was like not
But
killing them, like, but throwing them off like a 40-foot cliff. Like,
I was gonna say that.
oh, look at the zeros. Here comes the circles. A flurry of circles, boys. Not even aiming.
Yeah.
Because look, they hit everybody. Circle,
You know what?
circle.
They could call it the Crabtree Initiative.
Yeah. Yeah, in Star
Circles.
Trek, they name moves after you defeat someone doing something no one's done before.
That's true. The Crabtree.
You get your
technique,
battle buddy, and it's like, X's and O's, basically, right?
almost literally.
Yeah.
I love the way Ahsoka uses her lightsabers in these movies, in these shows. Like, not just as a weapon, but like as a tool, like a Leatherman.
Right. Slow down when you're falling off something.
Yeah. And then this, I mean, well, we've all seen this really cool part that's about to come up.
Oh yes, I know.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Isn't that's an amazing, whoever came up with that concept, great idea. And this little nod to the Rise of Skywalker too.
Mm-hmm.
Does Filoni make a nod to every single Star Wars thing?
He does, but I think also I think it's both. Yeah, because it's total Rise of Skywalker. I think it's also because Dave Filoni is so concerned, and he loves it so much that he's so concerned with keeping the universe consistent that he makes sure that, because in the episode that we were
it
watching,
has to have happened before. So
yeah, that
Right.
these things are not just happenstance. That now there's this. No, this has happened before. Just like Darth Maul doing the mind probe on the clone, the
Yeah.
Kylo Ren thing. So it's like, no, that's not the first time. When Kylo Ren does it, no, that's not the first time it's been used. That's a Force technique that's already existing.
more circles. Like Luke couldn't even get like his X-wing like out of the marsh, that it wasn't even trying to fly away from him, and she's like stopping
Yeah.
the spaceship trying to go, like showing how powerful she is at this point. She is drunk with the Force.
Yes, she is. Very good.
Another circle hit. Another circle hit. It just hits all left and right. God.
I like the idea of Charlie just making notes on paper with circle hits. I love that move right there. Using the lightsabers to like plasma cut.
There's something to this.
You guys, there's a couple stormtroopers coming. Don't worry, they can't shoot. No, I think these guys utilize the Crabtree technique. You should really watch
Hide! Everybody hide!
it. One of them can't miss. It's a horrible shot, but he can't miss this because the
Circle, have you
circles.
seen his circles as big as a room?
It's like whack-a-mole.
These circles too are just one size. The ones in episode 4 get bigger, so
They grow. They
spread
grow.
out. Even if you miss, like, it's fine. You can miss by
You shoot it from 200 yards away, and it's as big as a street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then there'll be purists that go, then you're cheating. It can only be like 2 feet in diameter maximum.
No.
Well, the clones, I guess the clones they hadn't perfected the stun. They hadn't made it to where it widens out yet because he's just using.
You're
straight-
right. Those circles aren't getting any bigger.
They probably didn't invent that yet. But the stormtroopers were so bad, they were like, we should make the circles get bigger. And then some other guy was like, can we make the lasers get bigger too? And they couldn't figure that out.
I like the idea of them just not realizing there's another switch on their guns. Like, oh shit, there's a stun setting. Should we tell someone?
Look at this. I love it. She's the best.
This is
She's
wait,
in full-on beast
did she do it yet with the sabers and the? Did I miss it?
Yeah. She made the circle.
No, the circle, yeah. But then there's another when she. Oh, it's this coming.
Yeah.
This is like.
But
Just
she's done this a bunch already, though, where she stops her.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
she does so many, but this one's my
And
favorite.
then the circles
That-
in the ground to drop to drop down through the floor.
Yeah.
This right here, though, that's my favorite. Just the
Running up, crazy.
sticking them in the thing and then running up and jumping.
By the way, it did look like she dropped her lightsabers at that point.
Yep, she did.
How does she get them back?
You figure it out.
I think she only did drop one.
She has a little tile that you put on them.
No, I think she just dropped one right there because she has the other one when she gets to the planet.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh, so she's always down one from here on out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And then, like, the ultimate parkour happening in a second. I love these scenes of her.
And, you know, in the atmosphere, so no, she's not breathing in space.
You know what? It's not the first time she's done this. I think she did
No,
this a
no.
few times in Rebels. Sorry, in Clone Wars.
And I think this season, maybe
This
it was the
season
last
and
two
in like
episodes?
season 3 or 4 or something like that.
God, she's great.
Anakin's done that too. She probably
Yeah,
learned from
for
watching
sure.
him.
In Attack of the Clones, Anakin's doing that like crazy, doing that speeder chase.
God, her abs must be amazing. This scene right here broke my heart. This shot of her right now, where you could tell it's all coming down on her at once.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, very, very good.
Like that right there. Right there, you can tell it's like oh fuck. Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
We swear all the time here, Bob. You remember. You probably have the most fucks per minute in that one
Oh.
podcast. No, no, you're right though. That shot of her face, the animation, like the emotion that you're
Did
getting
you see
from
that? Like it went from like determination to sorrow in like a blink. So good.
this
Yeah,
is the
it is-
best acting
it is
I've
very
seen,
good.
and it's an animation.
God, could you imagine having to do this?
Oh man, the making the graves.
Dude, like rummaging through a burned husk of a Star Destroyer, finding your buddies.
Yeah.
With like one little shovel, like
Yeah. Which is on the outside of the plane and clearly doesn't fall off in space.
Is it a plane, Bob?
Oh, yeah, sorry, a ship.
Yeah, this is a fucking great shot.
So hard. They're all
Like,
standing
Some
at
of those
attention
helmets are
again.
painted to look like her, you know? Like
I know. That makes it
That-
so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That.
Jesus. They're all standing at attention again. In front of her. It's
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice they humanize the clones on this, the way that they're able to do that.
well, she did. She's the one that humanized them. Like,
Oh, through her relationships with them.
yeah, like these aren't just clones.
Right. And in this moment, Jesus Christ, this is heavy.
Boy. Not only giving up the Jedi way, but like Anakin. Like,
Yep.
it's all there.
Yep,
Who's coming up with her face animation? Because they're the greatest actor ever.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Okay, so now this has got to be a ways away now. This is some
Well-
time has seriously passed because now they're into Imperial shuttles,
I don't think
Off
so. though.
troopers.
Well,
Now look at. I have not watched this a second time, but I wanted to see the consistency of the gear because that's really where you can like pin
but
like
dude,
the timing.
But okay, so those
look
guys.
at well,
That's exactly the same stormtrooper outfit as like the Hoth guys, right?
Yep.
The Imperial probe droids look
Now
the
they got
same.
these.
but dude, take a look at Darth Vader. It's not like
He looks skinny.
Uncle
He
Fester
still looks
Vader.
skinny. No, he does look skinnier.
Well, and he has the red reflection in his eyes, which is only
Yeah.
from the first movie. They even made sure to have that in Rogue One, because in original Episode 4. But yeah, those are full-on stormtroopers, dude. So this
Dude.
is like right at the brink of the beginning of the switch from Clone Republic to Empire.
Yeah. Dude, doesn't that look like an actual human?
That looks like a real shot.
It's crazy.
That right
That
there
looks
could be a real
real.
shot. That could be a real movie shot.
This is heartbreaking too. Like you kind of feel for him.
He made that for her. I mean, essentially.
I mean, then he murdered a bunch of children and stuff. So
That's
fuck
true.
what he thinks.
Well, that's true. There's always going to be some dead kids, though.
But maybe like some original chinks in the armor of where he's thinking maybe the dark side wasn't the right way to go, right? It's like
What do you think the
reflections on
bird
that.
Okay, so the bird. See, he's got the red. That's early Darth Vader.
God, that's a great shot.
I love it.
Oof.
And he keeps it. I don't remember if he kept it or not. Yep, keeps it. Oh, and this shot.
Dude, oh my God.
That shot.
Oh.
I love it that we're calling them shots.
I know, right?
There's no camera involved, but they are. They're shots.
Right there, created by George Lucas.
Written by
All right,
Dave
like,
Filoni.
not to like to be on the downer side because like this is like amazing, and as far as like a 4-episode arc, like it's as good as Star Wars gets. I think. I do wish they kind of gave you some sense of where she goes or what she's going to be up to next. Feel like the ending, my only small criticism, because I love the fuck out of it, is that it really is setting up that you're going to be seeing more of Ahsoka and they're going to explain more of what happens from this moment forward.
Right.
So I'm hoping that that's a good thing, because if they end it that way and don't do that, I feel a little bit ripped off.
And there's like bits and pieces all throughout, like all through the books and stuff, and like Rebels, there's bits and pieces. Like she becomes Fulcrum. She's an informant, basically.
In Rebels, yeah.
Yeah, she's her code name. So what? We don't know what happened exactly after this, but you know she met up or she's in contact with Bail Organa because he mentions Fulcrum, and her name is Fulcrum. Like
she's one of the Fulcrum.
I thought it was just one.
No, it's like
It was just the Fulcrum.
Charlie, you saw Rebels. Remember the first Fulcrum was Ahsoka, and then they called the remember the Imperial general who turned.
I want to like almost go back and watch Rebels now from like
Rebels. I started
from her
watching
starting,
it again.
because I did watch it, and it was almost one of those like come downs from this show where you're like, all right, well, I'll watch something else. It's a lighter version of it, but then even that show by the end got just amazing. But I kind of feel like I need to go back and look at it and see how it all ties together.
That last season of Rebels.
It was great.
It's amazing.
It is great Star Wars.
Phenomenal.
When did she first appear in Rebels? What is it, that last season only?
No, I think she appeared in one of the middle ones, right?
Yeah, she becomes the Fulcrum. They reveal her as Fulcrum in like maybe season 2. Yeah, because she has.
Was it that early? I don't remember.
Because the end of season 2 is her big fight with Darth Vader.
Right.
That's the end of season 2, and then season 4 has her kind of walking. Remember, she's walking off into the Mortis thing.
Yeah.
Which is the bird comes from, and I had to look a little bit.
We were talking about this, yeah.
Okay, so the Mortis arc in Clone Wars, which is, I forget what season it is, but it's when they go to the planet that's like made of the Force, and there's the father and the daughter and the son.
Yeah.
And then the daughter saves Ahsoka, and the daughter becomes these different things, and one of them is the bird. And then, so the bird is like, it's like her guardian. And then in Rebels, when the bird shows up, she says, I owe that bird my life. And then, I think, I could very well be wrong about this, so careful on like comments if you're going to do that thing. I think at the end of Rebels, when you see Ahsoka walking off, because she walks off at the end of that show as well.
Yeah.
You see the bird. I think the bird is also there again.
Is there a bird at the end? Where she gets on the plane, on the ship? Right?
Okay, no, you know what I'm thinking of? Is I think it's when she goes into the Mortis thing to become trapped in time.
Yeah. Well,
in Rebels, she goes into Mortis. She goes into it's not Mortis, but she goes into like a temple, and there's like the birds there. God, I gotta watch Rebels again, because Rebels gets fucking weird with the animals. Get those talking wolves.
it gets very mystical. It's a nice different touch to Star Wars.
Well, Lucas's whole thing for 7, 8, 9 for him was what he's always said was that he was going to get super mystical with the Force, and I think Filoni is carrying that into Rebels and into this, where there's talking wolves and there's guardian birds, and
in the world between worlds and all that. And
I'll never understand the world between worlds,
dude. To me, I see it as it's. The way I see it, or at least think of it, is that it's like the visual representation of what the Force is, which is connecting everything through space and time.
Oh. Well, I'm going to have to watch it again with that perspective. Because I just thought they were doing this weird, I was like, time travel? What is this, time travel? And I think back in those days,
because
I think back in those days, Pablo Hidalgo was still on Twitter before he just went crazy like Darth Maul from all the fans attacking him. And I think I remember him saying, people were tweeting and he was saying that it's not time travel. It specifically is not time travel.
I don't think it's, I think it's just, again, it's like portals into different, it's space-time. It's not, you're not traveling per se, but like, except Ezra has that one hallucination with his parents where Palpatine shows him his parents.
Yes.
I know we're talking about Rebels now, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you should watch Rebels if you haven't seen
Watch Rebels, and that last season is just wicked amazing.
Also, season 2 is.
Thinking about that ending, like, is dropping the lightsaber mean, like, all right, clearly leaving the Jedi Order or whatever, and that's done anyway, so there's nothing to leave. Is it her walking away from him? Is it her walking away from any ambition to fight or do anything about it? Is it like she's so, like, just beside herself and heartbroken about everything, like losing her master and then losing all the clones and the Jedi Order is completely gone? Is it like her just walking away from it, just walking away from him? Is it just her accepting her fate, the galaxy? Like,
I think
that ending is better than I gave it credit for.
I think if you look at it in terms of like what we were talking about in the beginning of episode 11, 11, where we were talking about like the theme of like everyone's kind of like all we've ever known is war.
Right.
And you kind of look at it like, I think you're right, where it's like she's dropping the lightsaber Anakin gave her. Like, I'm done with him. I'm done with this.
But done with all of it, right? She's just going to go build space bikes.
And she probably goes away to like, like a little Buddhist retreat for a while, and then like.
No, she does in that book.
And then realizes like, oh shit, like we gotta. I don't want to be a Jedi, but I gotta help because there are people out there that still need help.
In the Ahsoka novel, which Dave Filoni did also have approval on.
All right, I'm gonna audible it, Bill. I'm not even
audible that book. It's narrated by Ashley Eckstein, who plays Ahsoka. So it's like,
I feel like I owe her that much, right?
Yeah, she goes to like a farming planet, if I remember. Like she goes to like this remote, right, Bob? And she's like, she's trying to fit in, and she just like wants nothing to do with anything about Jedi. She's just trying to like, she's not gonna work. She decides not to work on bikes. She's gonna go work on a farm or something like that.
Yeah. She's pulling an Obi-Wan, but on a farm.
Yeah, and then all hell breaks loose and stuff, and there's Inquisitors, and then.
I mean, at this point, though, in the galaxy, she's got to be, if not the strongest, in the top 3 strongest Jedi that is still alive. So, like, right?
Right, because it's just like, as far as we know, it's Yoda, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Kanan.
Well, right, as of right now.
We know.
And Cal from Fallen Order.
Oh, right. Yes, and Cal.
But he's also kind of, he's a Padawan guy. He's like even a lesser version of Kanan. Kanan was fairly well trained.
Drummed out of the Jedi?
Kanan?
Was he? Did he leave the Jedi, or was he?
No, his master was killed.
That's right, but they didn't do anything.
He was a Padawan at that time too. He was never like a full-fledged Jedi when it happened, which is maybe one of the reasons why he's still alive.
That makes sense.
He escaped. I think he escaped Order 66. Like his master like protected him while he was getting killed, and he got away.
I mean, Ahsoka is one of the last voices in episode 9, right? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
so clearly she was one of the main voices. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Mace Windu, Anakin, Qui-Gon,
Mace Windu has no
Obi-Wan.
place being a final voice. That son of a bitch.
They should have had it. They should have. What they should have done.
Don't listen to him. Just focus on the rest of us.
In the voices part of Rise of Skywalker, they should have had like Anakin doing his, bring balance to the Force, Rey. I did it. Shut up, Anakin. Rey.
Yeah, right. Right.
No,
Take a seat,
you know what?
Skywalker.
I'll believe it when I see it, Ray.
You know what would have been great if you just hear Qui-Gon right after Mace Windu and go, "Just shut the fuck up, Mace."
Who let
Believe it's
him
this
in here?
boy? So you believe it's this boy?
That's it. It's not like really Sam Jackson's The Phantom Menace. He's like really one of his worst performances.
I agreed.
He somehow just didn't fit in there. He got better as the movies got better, but yeah, even then, I think we talked about this, Charlie. But even at that point, Anakin already hates him. He gives him a dirty ass look.
As a kid.
As a little kid, it's like from the Phantom Menace when he first meets Mace Windu, he's like, he's gonna end up killing that guy.
Yeah, right.
Hey, kids say the darndest things.
Because Mace Windu does this whole thing. He goes, "No, you will not be trained."
Yeah.
What?
He's too smug.
Fuck you.
Be a dick
He's
about
too
it too.
smug to be a Jedi.
At least, and then Qui-Gon's like infuriated by that.
It's the definition of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
I don't believe that he's the one so much that I'm going to ride this motherfucker until he turns on us.
You know what? I think Yoda should have pulled in HR and had a little sit down with Mace Windu.
Agreed. We need to talk about your tact.
I think memo to Rey. If you start creating a new Jedi Order after Episode 9, when a dude comes around with a purple lightsaber, too close to the edge. You know what I mean? Just, like it's a bit much. It's kind of a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Like
Just-
join the Jedi
Because
Council.
Just
I
giving him
love
this.
Sam Jackson. I love him, but
So do I. I still love Mace Windu in his way, in his own, like when in isolation, when he's just doing his own thing, like when he kills Jango Fett and stuff.
yeah, when he's beheading Jango Fett.
Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
stuff. But his relationship with Anakin sucks, and it's his fault. It's entirely
He
his
certainly
fault.
didn't help it if it isn't completely his fault.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that he's responsible entirely for Anakin, but he's responsible for everything bad about their relationship.
Yes.
There was never an olive branch. Like Skywalker, sit down and have a drink with me. Let me tell you why there's tension. Okay,
Right.
There's a few things you gotta
Right.
know. Let me pile up to you a little bit. Hey, why don't we go on a mission?
Right. Right.
Just you and me. Do they ever do that in this show? Do they ever really do Mace and Anakin interact?
No. I mean, they
No.
interact, but there's other people there. I don't think it's ever just the two of them.
There's never a buddy show.
There's never a buddy flick, side plot hijinks. Never.
I mean, who would want
Right.
to see that? Would you want to see that?
I'd love to see it, but it would.
I would love to if they kind of got along and there's tension, but it's funny tension, and they're doing it because they love each other. But they're always
But they
cracking
don't. They
wise on
really
each
don't
other.
love each other. They hate each other.
They hate each other
They
Yeah.
really do.
to the point where one throws the other one out a fucking window. Bob, it's intense.
Cuts his hand off. Cuts his. And Anakin. That was.
And who was more right? So the whole time, it's not the Jedi way, and he's right. It is not the Jedi way. And then after all this shit about taking the high road and, maybe you're the chosen one, maybe not, but we don't believe in you because we think you're going to do some gnarly shit and turn bad. Well, it's Mace Windu who strikes first, who's going to actually do the bad thing. Before
He's too
Anakin ever does it, and he stops him, and then he's like, okay, it's all hypocrisy. At that moment, he's like, they're totally full of shit. And I've been feeling bad about myself because I'm the one that's not worthy, and I'm the one that they don't trust. But I've held the path the whole time. I have not gone over that edge. A little bit here and there. He's married. But nothing major. And then boom, he's trying to kill someone who's defenseless at that time. It's not the Jedi way. He does it. He's going to do it anyways. So he's a fucking full-blown hypocrite.
And you know what?
That is the last straw.
Anakin actually does not throw him out the window.
No, that's
Anakin,
true. Like,
all Anakin does is cut his hand off. All Anakin does is,
he defends a defenseless person, and then the Emperor shoots him out the window. You're correct.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying is that Anakin, who God knows loves beheading, does not behead Mace Windu. He just cuts his hand off to get his weapon out of his hand.
And like new hands are like a dime a dozen. That's no big deal to lose a hand.
What is it with Skywalkers and hands?
Yeah, you're not going to hang on.
There's some sort of fetish action going on.
I will cut your hand off. I will get my hand cut off. Like some hand's is going to be gone.
They actually
done.
They had to cut. There's a part of Rise of Skywalker where at the very end when she goes, Rey Skywalker, they cut back to Luke's Force Ghost and he's all, say goodbye to the hand.
Wouldn't it be great?
That's such a Mark Hamill joke. Mark Hamill himself would make that joke.
It really was. It really was.
How amazing would it be if you had a shot of like Vader's lair and he had a room just full of hands,
extra hands ready to
mounted
go
on the wall?
He's got like an extra one clipped to his Darth Vader belt.
Like carabiner on.
You know what does seem to be a little more rare though are the human hand skin covers, because it's like Luke, you know, when you see him on Ahch-To, it's like he's not even bothering with that anymore. And then Anakin never bothered with that. He'd either wear a glove or he had a nice silver one, but he never got the whole, skin thing.
Like it would make sense that Anakin could have one. I could understand why Luke wouldn't, because like it's like a war zone. Like parts are limited. You get what you get.
Yeah, but they can grow like a clone within like what? How long did it take them to grow clones? Like
over to Camino, get a hand.
They could they could grow you a hand and have lunch, go sit in the cafeteria. By the time lunch is over, we'll have a new hand waiting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll grow it from a clone and we'll cut it off him and put it on you. And you need any other body parts? Why don't we just make you like 10 clones of yourself? And every time something gets lopped off in a lightsaber duel, you just take it from that clone.
Yeah, you can make clones without brains, just like the body. And then you just use it for body parts. Like, it doesn't think and stuff, but it's got a heart and it's got ribs and whatever you need.
Well, that's what Palpatine did?
A spleen?
At the end, episode 9, right? There's this
he had a bunch of body parts laying around.
There's like vats full of like potential Palpatine body parts just sitting in there.
That's true. That's true.
He thought about it.
He did. He finally he figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the secrets to cheating death is to have a whole bunch of body parts lying around in case you fall down a shaft and you left with near nothing. Because and he's getting the juices pumped into him all the time. He's got like life fluid. Like he's attached to that thing. In the book, just real quick as a side, because I'm reading Rise of Skywalker, which you can get on audibletrial.com/PodTalking. They go more into the Emperor, and like at the point where Kylo Ren comes and meets him at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, like he's almost like for real dead, because he's just they keep pumping him full of stuff. They keep arm falls off, they just stick another one on there. His hands are all like sewn back together. Like there's nothing. He's running out of material to keep him alive at that point.
There's no blood. It's all back to fluid.
It's like fluid.
Right.
It's fluid.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta read that book.
Good, man. It gets more into that whole Sith Eternal stuff. Mustafar, what goes on down there. It's good stuff, that book. Yeah.
So did you guys, I think Bob is the one who told you the ratings of the last one. What were the ratings for the last 2 episodes? Didn't you guys look at the not IMDb?
I did not look at the IMDb. I did not look at the IMDb ratings. I wanted to do.
Did we talk about that on the last episode, Bill, or was that post talk?
No, we did. It was on the episode. We actually looked at IMDb. So let's look at IMDb here.
Okay, quick guesses, everyone.
Well,
9.6, just because it's an ending and no one's ever happy with how things end. I initially didn't love the ending, and then after seeing it again and thinking about it, after saying I had problems with the endings, I think it was beautiful. So I think I would have raised it a couple points. I'm
going to go up to, I'm going to say 9.7. Maybe 9.8.
I'm going to say 9.6 or 9.7.
I would probably give it a 9.7. Yeah. Where's the freaking?
Because the lead up was so good, and like, you know, an ending is never going to live up to your expectations. It was good though.
What do you guys think about the title, Victory and Death?
It's great.
What did you think that alluded to?
I don't know. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Because like the death part, like
What victory?
Yeah, I don't get the victory part of it.
I don't either.
There's no victory unless you're Darth Vader.
Maybe that's what they're alluding to.
They kind of
and victory, and then death of Darth Vader. Like, I mean, of death of Anakin Skywalker. That's what they're talking about.
I was thinking like the death of like Ahsoka as like a Jedi.
And then victory, what? Just making it off that ship alive? Like, she didn't win.
I don't know, man.
I guess that would have been the victory.
The only thing that won in that episode was the circle shots. You know what I mean?
They did win. They did win.
Other than that, I don't know what the victory was. And there was a shitload of death, so I understand the death part. What's the victory?
Yeah, there isn't really a lot.
Removing herself from it, maybe like when she let go of the lightsaber, that was her victory.
Oh,
maybe it's not the victory of them.
That tracks.
All right,
like that she was able to walk away from it.
Yeah, like the victory is the Jedi failed in what they were doing, and she let go of that. That tracks.
I don't know.
I can see that.
Know.
All right, can you guys see this?
I can. Yeah.
There we go. All right. The Bad Batch 8.4, Distant Echo 8.3, The Wings of Kiridak 7.8, Unfinished Business 8.6, Pig in a Suitcase 6.5, Pig in a Suitcase Part 2 6.2, Pig in a Suitcase Part 3.
Look, by Dangerous Debt, Bill, I mean, we talked about it last episode, but we were both like, maybe we'll wait for episodes to pile up. Because
we were.
I don't have any more time for this.
We talked about it, but let's talk about it again, and also
because like look at the like the write up of it. Attempt to escape. ... They don't. They don't.
But they do. They do, which is so annoying. They freaking completely escape, and then they get all the way through and back, and literally the show ends.
No, I know, but they escape. But no, they don't, because at the end they're where they started.
But I mean, let's just look at this picture too. You can tell that this is not going to be good. This just has not. This looks cool. This looks cool. This looks cool. Yeah. But it's like, okay, you know that this is just going to be talking and it is. It's like trying to fool people into thinking that they got spice. Bob, Bob, last time Charlie and I talked about this, I want to get your take. Is that we were getting so sick of the bike girls and the Spice Girls and their side plot that we were literally talking about, you know, when you watch a series like in order, like when I was watching Rebels in real time, there was an episode where Hondo had to get an Ugnaught from one place to another, and he hit him in a suitcase.
Yeah.
Pig in a Suitcase. I always refer to those stupid episodes as Pig in a Suitcase, right? So we're talking about there's like these Pig in a Suitcase episodes, one after the other. And Charlie and I were literally saying, well, maybe we should just wait until it's over, because we know that they're going to see Maul and all that stuff from the trailer. Just let them all pile up, and that way we can plow through these side plot episodes and get to it. How were you on that, or were you just like, did you just enjoy them enough to just?
I just kept watching them, man. I mean, I didn't they're clearly not the best episodes, but I think it's the good thing about those episodes, or the saving grace, is giving you an insight into Ahsoka Tano's mental state and where she is.
Agreed with that. I totally agree with that, and that's good. But like
the rest of it,
well, how about 1.5 episodes and then exposition out? You know,
you could have had 3 more episodes with other. You could have had a different.
Imagine having 1.5 more episodes dedicated to this arc of the final 4 episodes, which is like the greatest Star Wars shit. As good as you can put it up against anything. Like it's a great arc. It could have been one movie on its own, and it would have been great. Everyone would have loved it. They wasted precious episodes of the final season on some of that shit. Like starting in the cage and ending in the goddamn cage is unforgivable.
It was definitely tedious to say
At
absolutely.
least by the last episode of that, they had like Darth Maul. You saw like this
Right.
Darth Maul, like, so you at least knew, okay, finally. Because the episode
Well-
before that, I'd asked Charlie, because he saw it before. I said, does it end though? I said, does the arc, the girl, Spike's girl thing end? And Charlie just texted me back, no. Does it just no? Not like no in a frown face or no, sorry, just no.
I mean, what else can you say? Like, there's no way to sugarcoat that crap.
Look
Yeah,
at
you
the
just feel
sky.
like-
Look at the skyrocket though for
I know.
episode 1 of the
God.
4-part finale. I mean,
Look at
Jump.
this.
9.8 for Star Wars fans, the most fickle bunch of fucking bastards
Yeah,
on the universe.
Really.
And it's a 9 point. Nothing is 9.8 in the Star Wars universe anymore.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Only Empire Strikes Back can have that.
Yeah.
And
Even
I
the
would-
original Star Wars is in 9.8.
I don't. I was gonna say I don't even think those get 9.8s. 9.9.
9.9.
That was
Shattered
was
9.9.
Insanity.
all right. So look, they're both rated 9.9. What did you like better, Phantom Apprentice or Shattered?
I like. Oh God, man, that's a tough one. I'll let Bob go first, or you go first, Charlie. I think about that for a second. Ooh.
I mean, the lightsaber duel between the
No,
two
no.
of them is so fucking great.
Phantom
Ahsoka
Apprentice.
against the clones on that tabletop, the scene Bob was saying, like, I love this scene. I fucking love that scene too. But like, as far as like the story arc of like, if I think Clone Wars is ultimately about Ahsoka, I mean, obviously there's a lot of other things going on, but like ultimately it's her show.
Yeah.
Like that's her episode. That's where she's fully come into her own 100% at the height of her powers, like where the Padawan is like, yeah, that's truly a master Jedi at this point. That all happens in that episode. So I'm gonna have to say Phantom Apprentice is my favorite episode of any Clone Wars ever. That's the top one.
I would agree. I mean, spot on. Like, to me, Clone Wars is Ahsoka, and you're right. That's the apex of
I
everything.
think so too. Yeah.
Like, absolutely, without doubt.
Yeah.
I
Took the words
agree.
Out of my mouth, I can't even add to that.
Yeah,
But
I can't
does
really
that
add either.
lightsaber battle top the Order 66 in real time, and like her sensing what's happening, and like them interweaving both of the plots the way they do and the cuts between the two scenes? That's so fucking masterfully done too. It's just, I guess, depending on what you're looking for. One is maybe bigger in the Star Wars universe, and the other one is just better for that character arc. But just, I loved the Phantom Apprentice.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna give
9.9,
Phantom.
9.9. What are you gonna do? Like,
I'm gonna give it number 1 too, and also because they even do start, even though they don't get as bold as Shattered, where they actually have like a
The
scene.
first time it ever happens in the whole series, right?
Because yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You think, or at least I thought, after Old Friends I think it was Old Friends Not Forgotten. I forget which one first made us realize, okay, we are now in the Revenge of the Sith movie. I
Yeah.
think that was
Old-
Phantom
it was Old
Apprentice, right?
Friends. It was Old Friends.
Okay, so that one, and then we knew, and then Phantom Apprentice with the thing with them on Mandalore, and like Mandalore exploding in Maul, like you might want to do something about that, and just all the freaking clones versus Mandalorians versus, we're jumping on the ships and everything. No, dude, and then the lightsaber fight. That's the best episode of Clone Wars. That's some of the best Star Wars.
The Star Wars, period. Yeah.
You could throw that half-hour episode of an animated series into the mix of movies, and it's holding its own like fucking crazy.
Well, of course, it's 9.9.
Shattered also got a 9.9.
Yeah, which is another great episode. But
And now,
There's another thing about these ratings, by the way, is by the time you're in season 7, episode 10, it's really the only people watching are the real fans.
yes.
So like
yes.
I honestly, like, I trust these ratings because it's like the real people that actually love Star Wars and the Star Wars universe, and not the people that are looking at it from a political aspect or
Right.
I'm tired of them putting Chinese women in Star Wars movies and trying to make them a featured character. Like, all of that fucking narrative has nothing to do with it. It's just people like that purely like Star Wars. So I think these are like the purest ratings that you're going to get is like these final episodes. And I agree with them across the board, where you can look at like episode 7, 8, 9, and it's like you have to just weed out like 80% of the episodes because it's a bunch of fucking, people that aren't really fans or think that they're fans and they want to bring some kind of fucking agenda to it. And I don't pay any heed to any of that.
I bet you $1 million that none of the reviews of these talk about Disney.
I mean, there might be a little bit, but
no. But I mean, you know what I'm saying. Like
in some cases, it's fair. We've mentioned it today, right? Like
sure, but you know what I mean. Like, there's not going to be one post. There's not going to be posts of a guy ranting. It didn't go from a 10 to a 9 because of some guy ranting about Disney and Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
yes.
You guys ready? You guys ready for what did this one get? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
9.9 again. Wow. 3 in a row.
Deservedly so.
9.9. I don't even know how this got.
I don't know how to feel about the ending yet. I have to reconcile that. It could go anywhere from a 9.6 or 7 to a 9.9. I can't decide if the ending is like a cliffhanger to where it's dependent or on more happening with this character or not. I don't know. Maybe it's just beautiful where it left off. And if you never heard from Ahsoka again and she just walks off into the, into the universe, maybe that's just as good. Maybe that's better.
We do hear from her again, though, and like we hear from her in Rebels.
No, I know that.
And if you read that book, you could learn a little more.
And she's going to be in The Mandalorian.
I mean, that book doesn't that book I was talking about, by the way, Charlie, it doesn't explain her whole journey. It just, you know what I mean? It's just kind of this is what happens right
By the way, I'm not saying like a 6. I'm saying like a 9.6 instead of a 9.9.
No, I got you.
Splitting hairs at this point, right?
Yeah.
Look at these 10s of 10s. Look at these.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Who gave this thing? And you're right, dude. These are the real Star Wars fans because, I know people. We know people. Our great friend Dan Jewett is started to watch the Clone Wars, so he'll get to this point. With the people who are already there, who are watching it back in 2000 whatever, those people were anticipating this. You're right. They're not like, oh, what is this? A new Star Wars cartoon? They've been waiting for this,
Yeah.
So they are going to not be in it to no one's going to jump into season.
Look at that one.
7 to make a point about politics is what I'm saying.
Bill, go back up again.
Happy to admit I was wrong.
Happy to admit I was wrong. That says
nice.
Who was ever that? I've never heard a Star Wars fan say that.
Right.
That's the first time any Star Wars fan has said it.
What is
Ever.
it?
Hey, I admitted I might be wrong on the ending in this very episode. Just
look at this though. See, here's the new generation, you guys. The Mandalorian changed my view of Star Wars, and once it finished, I wanted more, and the Clone Wars was the next option, and I wasn't disappointed. Ahsoka has become my favorite character. Look at this. Look at what's happening here. Star Wars will always live on because, at least for Dave Filoni, until he stops doing it.
he can never be allowed to stop doing it.
I
He
think
tries
he's
to do
only
anything else, campaign to crash any other project that he does that's outside of Star Wars.
he's only proving his mettle more and more and more. And you know that he doesn't want to do anything but Star Wars. Even this guy who's he's given it a great review and even only gave it an 8.
Really?
Yeah, he's saying
I would never give it an 8. See that. So yeah. What does he pick on? What's his?
On that note,
I've
there was
seen
one
it
individual that I feel is missing from this finale, which saddens me because he's never be getting Clone Wars. I acknowledge that it could create some plot problems. They've already been established in Rebels. I wish the show ended with all 4 main characters instead of just 3 of them. Aside from that, I hopeful the show will.
What all fit 4 main characters? Who's missing?
All 4 characters
Who's the
instead of
4th?
3 of them.
There's 3. Anakin, Ahsoka.
Was Obi-Wan not in the last episode? Is that what they're saying?
No.
He wasn't in the last episode or Anakin. So what 3 of them? It ended with 2 of them. It ended with her and Rex.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Well, no, because Anakin's there as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
So maybe just Obi-Wan.
That's a little nitpicky.
But Obi-Wan immediately goes into hiding, like immediately. They
But
can't.
that's
No way to
so
tie him
nitpicky.
into it.
That's so nitpicky.
And they had their goodbye moment, right? They had the classic Star Wars goodbye.
Yeah.
You
Look at
can't undo
these.
that.
Look at these. This is it. Amazing work of genius. Best episode of every Star Wars show, in my opinion. Better than every movie. This guy says.
It makes me really happy to see this.
Nothing short of fantastic and near being epic is not about how loud, but how silent. Oh, that's good. Goodbye, childhood.
Does it make you want to go watch the last Airbender cartoon? I remember seeing a couple episodes of it, and that's where Dave Filoni got his start. And I know, like, people were so hyped on that, and then they tried to make a movie, and it crashed the whole thing. But supposedly that cartoon is, like, amazing, and that's kind of what got him. You know, you watch that same making of Mandalorian. That's
right. He did. Yeah.
First discovered him from. I think maybe that's my next venture into, like, you know, cracking out on something.
This guy, this guy goes, my rating for the series based on the 4 episodes is 10 of 10, 10 of 10, 10 of 10, and 8 of 10. If the audiences never see how they mourn with each other after they bury the clones, the episode ends with them apart. Why? That right there is what stuck the dagger in me. These 2 indirectly killed soldiers that they had loved, fought with, all that Rex has fought for is gone.
Yeah, I did kind of want to see, like, where did they go a little bit? But
I mean, I don't know that they
was
didn't
kind
show
of what
him.
I was saying. Maybe it's cleaner and it's a more beautiful ending to see her drop the lightsaber. She's let go of all of it, her part in all of it. It's over. You know, I'm going to go fix bikes. I don't know.
She doesn't, though, Charlie. She goes to will you listen to the book? I'll give it to you.
I know. She goes to be a farmer. I get it.
She doesn't go to be a farmer.
I know, I'm just kidding. I know.
10 minutes ago, you're like, yeah, I owe it that much. That sounds interesting. I'll read it now.
I do. I promise I'm gonna listen to it.
It's a good story. It's a lot of hell breaks loose in the story, Charlie. It's not just her farming. It's not like the Bike Girls episodes. A lot happens.
Oh, look at this one. Give it a 4 out of 10. What a fucker.
Overrated.
Well, that's an old school fan.
Oh, listen to this guy. I love the Bad Batch arc, but then after that, all we've seen is Ahsoka.
What the fuck?
What show do you want to watch? You just want to watch the Bad Batch? I love the Bad Batch, by the way.
How are you 7 seasons in, and then you're like at that point not understanding that it's Ahsoka's show?
I'd like this. I wish you got to see Order 66 for the other Jedis. You did. It was the movies.
Everyone gets shot in the fucking back. We saw it.
1 out of 10. Where were the girls from the bikes? I'm just kidding. Great episode, but
why is it a perfect ending? Does it say? All right. I want someone to explain the ending to me. I want to understand it better.
They could have shown us where Darth Maul was going.
Well, then it wouldn't be poetic.
He's going crazy.
He's going crazy, and he probably went back.
Wearing tinfoil hats. He's chewing tinfoil.
He went to Dathomir.
Yeah, he went to Dathomir. I mean, just watch some more Star Wars. You don't even need to get into books and shit like me and Bob can't shut up about. This guy's only complained that it was short. That's fine. And anyway, I mean, look, perfect, speechless, perfect, chills, tears, great ending, end of an era, perfect finale, great finale, perfect, amazing, perfect. Could not have been better. I mean, this just makes me happy.
It does make me happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Star Wars fans enjoying Star Wars. And you know what, dude? If the people that hate The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker so much or whatever, go away.
Yeah, you know, I like what you said though, Bill. Like, there's a lot of like real Star Wars fans that have been loving it. Maybe it was a cartoon, or maybe they watched like the first 3 episodes and like, well, it's fine, but like are going to reinvestigate this and look into it and really see like how much real Star Wars there is here. There's millions of people that still haven't like caught up on this, so like that's kind of exciting. But
they are strong. We were getting messages from our friend Adam, who was like, he's like, oh my God, I'm watching the one where Padme's a sex slave, and maybe it's like he's getting into it. You know, it's like it's great, and it's on Disney Plus, and this last season is like pushing it out to the forefront so people will go and rediscover it. And it's a little hard to get into because Bob, as a matter of fact, I was thinking back on that review that we did about Force Awakens when we were talking in the car, and you kept telling me to watch it, and I was like, I don't know, dude. I have not watched it yet. at all. I'd not watched it at all, and because I saw the movie,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the movie was terrible.
The movie's
Terrible. Terrible.
garbage.
And I was like, Bob, I saw the
Terrible.
movie with like a pink Jabba the Hutt and all. There was like that stupid girl apprentice, and you're like, no, dude, you're just gonna love her. Like, I don't think so. Like, no, you are. And I finally started investigating it, and then like, you know, here we are. It's some of the greatest Star Wars there is.
Yeah. The dark stain on Clone Wars is the movie.
And that's all
It
Watchalong
really is a
for
bad
that now,
movie.
because it's like, you know, we needed to get, it had to start somewhere, and Ahsoka was one of them, was like the second most hated character in Star Wars history other than Jar Jar, and now she's one of everybody's favorites.
Dude, comeback kid.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's
One of the
beautiful.
most popular characters in Star Wars as we sit here today is not in a live action movie.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
If
Yeah.
you told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you.
No way.
It's also, you know, it's a tribute to what George Lucas started with that show, because he was way in deep with it. And I'm sure because the season 7, they were supposed to make the season 7 at the time. So I'm sure George Lucas had a hand in some of this. Although, I mean, the last episodes are written by Dave Filoni, but I'm sure he had a voice in it at some point back then, at least. And, you know, if you look at Mandalorian, everyone loves it. George Lucas always hanging out on the set. You look at this, it's like a direct thing from him. Rogue One was another project that I often remind people was already in development at Lucasfilm before Disney bought them. You know, Rogue One was, it gives fuel to people who hate Disney, but yeah, Rogue One was actually not totally a Disney movie. It was already floating around kind of before they got Disney. But if you take those things, my point being is that for now, like the Mandalorian, Clone Wars is like the new, hopefully will just wash away people's obsession with how bad the Disney trilogy is or whatever, and they can go away, and then we can just get back to this.
You know what? Those people are already gone.
I hope so, man.
They're gone.
I hope so. There doesn't have to, because you know what? There doesn't have to be, Star Wars, to me, it doesn't have to be the number one. I would like to think, as before we go out, I would like to get each of your takes on this. To me, Star Wars does not have to be the number one movie in the universe every time it comes out in order for it to be Star Wars and to be like hugely important to people and to be hugely popular and to be culturally iconic. It doesn't have to be Avatar box office, Endgame box office. Like, it doesn't have to be that and the cultural phenomenon that it is. To me, it's like you can push 30% of the fan base out of it, and maybe it only makes $1 billion instead of.
It's already done that, though. They've already done that.
Would you agree, or I mean, do you think?
I would totally agree. I think that's already happened.
I'm fine with that. It's just at that point, then it creates the narrative of it not being as good because it has always been ridiculously successful. So then anything that falls short just adds to like that stupid narrative. But like, you know, like Mandalorian like broke records and stuff. So for views and stuff, right? Like getting people to sign up for Disney and stuff. So
yeah,
I think when it's done right, it can still be both. And like, obviously, like, you know, an animated series is never going to get like the same type of attention. That's where you're waiting for like real fans to kind of check in and kind of stick with it. Those are the same people that read the books, right? Like, it's not like when a Star Wars book comes out, even if it is real canon, it's not like it's like the number one bestseller. It is like the main movie line. And that is when, like, if you were born in the 70s or 80s, all of a sudden you have a right to be the judge, jury, and executioner of it because you were alive at a certain time.
Right.
So you're allowed to have some stupid opinion that it sold its soul. You know, nobody likes their favorite band's latest album ever. Their latest album is always their least favorite album. So, you know, it's a bunch of revisionist history, and now we've tied in political. So I don't give a shit about it. But I do think when it's done well, clearly both happen. Mandalorian's proof of that.
Yep. And is this? It's a good time. It's a good time for Star Wars.
I don't know if this one has the commercial success, right? It's like almost like a gift for like the diehard fans that have chosen to seek it out. It's
Stick
like
around, right?
a bootleg tape of the best live concert your favorite band ever played, but it's not like, not officially like a new album or anything. It's like
It's Europe '72.
right, exactly,
Right.
bro. Very nice. Thank you.
Very nice.
It's perfectly put.
But with its new life now on Disney.
I hope,
Plus,
like you're saying, all these hopefully
Right.
fans are going to come in now.
and
Hopefully.
it seems like they are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all anecdotal, but I mean, I know of a couple people that we mutually know that like the show and everything, and then I've heard people like at my work before the whole quarantine were like, yeah, I started watching the Clone Wars, because I know that new season's coming and everything. So, I think the good news is this too. Part of Star Wars, what always was fun about it for us, outside of just itself, was having to wait and have these discussions about what happened to Ahsoka or where did Darth Maul go, all that kind of thing. And then having this amount of time, we always had to wait 3 years between movies or 10 years between trilogies and stuff like that, 15 years. And now, thanks to the lockdown, they couldn't start shooting Obi-Wan. They can't start shooting that until who knows when, right? Mandalorian, right. I think they kind of got close to wrapping up, so maybe that'll come out like around schedule, but everyone's excited for that. But there's no new Star Wars that's going to be totally judged, in this way that everything else is. Like right now, we've got this, and then Mandalorian, hopefully at some point soon. But we're not going to get inundated with Star Wars anymore for people to
but that's a good thing.
Obsess on it. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Give it a break. And when it comes back, in whatever form it comes back in, we'll be fucking excited for it because
we'll get our popcorn and soda.
We got a movie a year. We got 2 TV shows. In 5 years, we got 4 or 5 movies and 2 TV shows. So let it breathe. Especially right now. Let it breathe on a high.
Yeah.
9.9, 9.9.
Yeah. It had none of the pressure to live up to anything. Same with Mandalorian, right? It's not like a feature movie release, so it could just, it's series of episodes. Obviously, it's streaming, so they want it to do well, but it still doesn't have no one's comparing it to the box office of what it had done before or not. It's its own thing. It's on its own arc, and I don't know. I'm starting to prefer it that way because it gets less of that noise attention, where just everyone wants to have some opinion to be a contrarian, or if you like these, that means you're selling out your childhood or something like that. Like there's none of that attached to it. So, maybe Star Wars is better left off of the main screen at this point.
Well, you know what I think? I think you actually phrased what I was trying to say earlier better when I was talking about the box office and all that stuff. I think what you just said is actually kind of the point I was trying to make, is that
I was evolving on that thought for sure.
Right. That, well said, because that's kind of the thing is when you don't have these stupid numbers to compete with, or it did this, didn't sell enough Blu-rays, people aren't buying the toys that they are, but it's just Star Wars. Well, Star Wars fans talking like you said on one of our podcasts a long time ago, Charlie, about how and Bob, this was some of the best stuff that we ever experienced, was just going to the movies and having to wait in line before there were reserved seats, before you sat in a fucking Barca lounger with a guy serving you fucking potato skins.
Exactly.
You waited in line and you talked Star Wars, and then you sat up in your seat, and it was like the whole. I'm stealing all this from Charlie, but there was that whole experience is gone now. And now with this, it's like we don't have that anyway. So if we're not going to have that, we can have this,
which is all we need.
It's all we need.
I'm good with it.
It's great Star Wars, guys. It's been a fucking pleasure and a half.
God damn, it has.
May the Force be with you.
And also with you.
And with you.
Cue the hot chick.
Pop Talk and Aliens, the William Cleere Podcast.